Hi, welcome to this edition of How To Q. I'm going to replace my Motorized over Fireplace mantle mount TV with one from VIVO. The big difference obviously is instead of manually lowering and raising the TV, I'm now going to use a remote and lower and raise the TV for about $100 more. For specific pricing on the Motorized product and the VIVO one I'm installing, click in the link below. That'll give you current pricing. I hate to quote prices because I know they change all the time. Also, if you want a quick version of the VIVO product, a lot of the numbers and will it work on my fireplace, check out this quick video in the top right hand corner that I did. This is a little more detailed version of the VIVO installation, how I installed it. I've got a Sonos soundbar, how I work around that. So stay tuned for that and we'll get going. All right, first let me take down the Motorized mount. We've been happy with this, but my wife was complaining that she did have to move it up and down. So that's why we went to the VIVO electric push button mount. All right, the basis of this entire project really comes from this template that you're gonna find in the box. I've got a close-up of some of the dimensions of this template. What you're gonna do is basically put this up on, first of all, get a stud finder, figure out where the studs in your fireplace or wherever you're sticking this is. The big limiting factor on this mount is this is 16 inches between these two points that you're going to connect to the wall. They used to do 24 inches between studs. We're now at 16 inches between studs. And of course, you got a fireplace that may not be 16 inches, what they call on center. So you've got 16 right here, and then you've got options for studs that might be less than 16 inches. Now I'm going to set this up over the fireplace and find out where I'm going to start. All right, one of the measurements you need to take is how far out your mantle comes or play bar or other obstructions. Mine is 6.5 inches from the wall. Since it's less than 7 7/8, you look at this table in the instructions, and my mount needs to be a minimum of 7 7/8 inches from that mantle. We'll just call it 8 inches. So that's my initial plan, is to mount it 8 inches above the mantle, and then we'll take a few other measurements to make sure that works. Okay, you can see the holes from my previous mount, and under the title of "It's always going to be harder than you think," I need to move this outlet onto the other side of here. Do a little drywall patch. I've got a smooth finish, so that'll be pretty easy. And let's do that, and then we'll mount it. All right, I'm gonna speed through this part of it. This is not a how to move an outlet or how to patch drywall, but I feel I'm pretty comfortable with all of this. I had moved that outlet over to install the previous mount, and now I'm just moving it back over, which is a little frustrating. But with a smooth finish wall, these patches are pretty easy. While this 20-minute mud is drying, I'm gonna go ahead and continue with installing the hardware and setup. All right, if you've never mounted a TV to a wall mount before, one of the things you have to consider is that the back of your TV isn't exactly flat. I've got a little bulge at the bottom of my TV. I'm showing you that now. So they give you these plastic spacers. So you've got the spacer up against the TV, and then you've got the bracket that you're mounting to it. Also, when you're attaching these brackets to the TV, don't go crazy with your drill. You can easily strip out these bolts. I've done a lot of these, so I'm pretty comfortable doing it. So just watch out for that. You may want to get it to a point where you just hand tighten it. Use the included washers, that's important. Make sure you loosen these or release these, so when you go to hook it onto the mount, that they're not blocking. That didn't happen to me. All right, let's move on to the next step. Now I transition over to the mount itself. The part on the left goes to the wall. The part I'm attaching right now goes to the TV. Just undid those bolts and put them back on. I'm just setting all of this up to get some exact measurements for the next step. All right, one of the things I suggest you do, and this is what I did, is lay your TV flat on the ground, set up your mount the way you want it on the wall, which I've done here. The bottom of the TV to the bottom of the mount is 1 inch. And then it's another 1.25 inches to the first hole. So basically I have 2.25 inches that the bottom of this mount needs to be above my Sonos minimum. Highly suggest you do this on the ground. Transpose all of your measurements from here up onto the wall. Obviously using this, 2.25 from the bottom of this. I'll do that now. Okay, hopefully this illustrates it a little bit more. The Sonos bar is down at the bottom. I'm going 2.5 inches above the Sonos bar, and I'm making a level line. That's where the template is going to go, and then I'm going to mark where I'm going to drill. Remember, I had a mount earlier up here, so I know exactly where those studs are and where the center is. You can actually see that the patch is still a little bit wet left of where my cables are, and this is just to prove it is level, ready to drill. So now I'm using a 1/4 inch bit to drill my holes. I should have used a 3/16 bit. I would have known that if I read the instructions. All right, real quick tip. To get any markings off the wall, best way I have found is using these Mr. Clean Magic Erasers. You get them a little bit wet and you will make these lines disappear. So I'm gonna get rid of these and then we'll continue with the install. All right, now time for cleanup, not just those lines, but also the plastic there for all the drywall and some of the sanding I had to do. All right, one more mistake. Read the directions. I thought it said a 1/4 inch drill to put these bolts in. Now I have a good excuse to get a little bit bigger bolts because I used a 1/4 inch hole. I'm gonna run down to Ace, get 4 more bolts, probably a couple more washers, and I'll be back. So the lag screw on the top is what I used for the Motorized install. Big time overkill. The one on the bottom is what comes with VIVO. So using that larger bit actually worked out because I thought I needed a bigger lag screw. So I got this 5/16 with a washer, a little shorter, it's 2.5 inches. And then I grabbed my drill and a ratchet, 3/8 inch. Having an adapter for your drill is huge. That's the one I used. This allows me to actually do this all by myself. This mount isn't very heavy and worked out great. I just put this up. I plugged it in. Hopefully when I press this down button, we will see movement. So movement, and I hear something. Sweet, it works, it works. And it's actually really quiet, which is nice. A little slow. All right, it's fully down. Let's see how close to the speaker, to the mantle it is, and then we can hang the TV. All right, all my measurements actually worked out. That piece sticking out below the arm is actually a cable organizer, so worked out great. All right, back up. Speed it up. All right, let's level that plate, and then we're gonna throw the TV on. After we hook it on, all you got to do is take those 2 pieces, hardware pieces in the back, put them over that bolt, screw them on, and it is good to go. All right, as you can see from the side view with the TV mounted, I didn't necessarily initially have to worry about the TV clearing the sound bar, at least vertically. Now what I will say is if that mount was any lower, you saw the control arm earlier get so close to that speaker. I like the distance I've got. I like the way it looks. It is level. I just love the fact that I could just press a button and it comes down and up. All right, just a couple quick things on the remote. There are no batteries. 2 AAA batteries is what you're gonna need. There's a left and right button that don't do anything. You've got to, if you want to rotate it left and right, I believe it's 25 degrees, you got to move it left and right. You've got the up and down button, which is self-explanatory. You've got 2 memory positions, and you've also got the OK button, which sends this back up. And if you want to stop it, you just hit OK. And if you want to keep it going up, you hit OK again. Okay, it takes about 30 seconds to go from completely up to completely down. The other nice thing about this is you can be, I don't know, 40, 50 feet away and you can still manipulate the TV with this remote. All right, moving on. All right, now that I got the TV on, securely on, leveled, time for some zip ties. All right, I got everything zip tied back there. This proves that I am not a professional. You can tell that it's not the cleanest job, but when it goes all the way up, all the way down, all the cords stay where they're supposed to be. The Apple TV fits nicely in between the mount and the TV, so that worked out perfectly. So this job is pretty much done. All right, one other thing I love about this mount is the clean look. When it's all the way down, you cannot see the mount and you cannot see the outlets behind the TV. The Motorized product I had before, when it was all the way down, you could see the mount and you could see the outlets, so I love that. Going from all the way up to all the way down is about 20 inches. If you want to see some just quick highlights of this project, click in the top right-hand corner. I appreciate you sticking through this install. I know it was a little longer, but some people really want those details. Feel free to subscribe in the bottom right-hand corner. And again, everything I used, all the supplies, including the links to this TV, are down in the description. That's it for this edition of How To Q. We'll see you next time.